after completion of eukaryotic transcription translation. Now we'll take up some applied aspects. The first one is regarding diphtheria toxin and eukaryotic elongation factor, that is EF2. Okay. The objectives we have set for this session are: at the end of the session, the learner shall be able to explain biochemical aspects of diphtheria toxin and its structural aspects, mechanism of inhibition of EF2 by toxins, consequences, okay, how toxin is inactivated. Okay, then. So before going into these various objectives, so we'll see, we know that, so before the advent of immunization, okay, so then the diphtheria was major cause of childhood deaths. Deaths happen in childhood, okay, deaths, okay. So before the advent of the immunization, so deaths in childhood, okay. Then, okay, presently also 50% of the cases are from India, okay. So let us talk about how the toxin is acting. Before that, so there is a Corynebacterium, okay, diphtheria, okay. It grows in upper respiratory tract of an infected person, okay, person. So it grows in the upper respiratory tract of an infected person, okay. So this particular protein, how it is synthesized? With the help of the gene, the encoding gene for this particular protein, which is a toxin, okay. So encoding gene of the toxin comes from a lysogenic phase. This is harbored by Corynebacterium diphtheria. Okay. So now we'll take up the objectives one by one. The first one is the biochemical aspects. We'll be discussing in biochemical point of view aspects and the structural aspects of this toxin. Biochemical aspects and structural aspects of toxin. Okay. So what happens? What is the diphtheria toxin? The first question which comes to our mind is the bacteria secrete a phase encoded protein. That protein is responsible for the various effects. It is responsible for, okay, lethal effects. Okay. Then the toxin is, we'll see how it looks like. This is the toxin. Okay, this is the toxin. When it is initially synthesized, we can say DT. It contains 535 amino acids. Initially, when it is secreted, it is a monomeric okay, protein having the single unit, but it will not remain like that. Okay, it remain like that. It will not remain like that. Okay, so when it okay encounters target cell, when it encounters the target cell, okay, so hydrolysis of this monomeric unit is taking place. So by the trypsin or trypsin like enzyme, enzyme. So trypsin like enzyme. So what we get it here? Here it is, suppose this is the one unit. Okay, then the next one is, this is another unit. So this we say, this is B unit, this is A unit. Both are joined by, they are not completely separated, disulfide linkages. Both are joined by the disulfide linkages, A unit and so B unit. So both are joined by the disulfide linkages. Okay. Other than diphtheria, there are toxins are present. The first one is diphtheria. The other one is cholera. Okay. Then, so these toxins, they have the similarities. Both the toxins, they have the similarities. So the toxin is a protein. The toxin is a protein. The protein is enzyme. The protein is enzyme. The toxin is a protein. Protein is an enzyme. What does this enzyme carry out? Catalyze ADP ribosylation. Catalyze ADP ribosylation. Okay. Then what? ADP ribosylation of what? Key cellular enzymes, making them the inactive cellular enzymes. Okay, enzymes. So how the diphtheria toxin, so on which system it is acting? So it is inactivating. It is inhibiting. Okay, EF2, the eukaryotic elongation factor. Okay, then the chlorotoxin, it acts on okay, G protein. Okay, these are the similarities. Okay, the next one is, where does so this toxin acts? The diphtheria toxin, where does it act? As I said, on EF2. The EF2 is eukaryotic elongation factor. Okay, it acts on one particular amino acid, that is diphtamide. Diphtamide is a modified okay, histidine residue. So diphtamide is modified histidine residue. That modification takes place during the post-translational phase. Okay, then diphtamide modified histidine residue. Okay, so this is not there in the prokaryotes. That is the reason the diphtheria cannot inactivate prokaryotic elongation factor. Now, second is the mechanism. The second one is mechanism. The second objective is mechanism. How it acts. What is the mechanism? How the inhibition takes place. The toxin, which is an enzyme, how it is inhibiting eukaryotic elongation factor. The mechanism we'll study, and I will explain diagrammatically. This is the cell cytoplasm. Here cell membrane is present, where the toxin, the B unit, the binding of the B unit is taking place to this receptor. Okay, this is the B unit, the receptor, and through disulfide linkage, the A unit is attached. To the disulfide linkage. So this is A unit. Okay, then this is B and this is A. Okay. In the second step, what happens? Again, I'll write the B unit. Here it is, the B unit. Okay, the B unit is binding is taking place. Okay, here you see the B unit binding is taking place. Okay, through the disulfide linkage. Here. So then this is A unit. Here the binding. Okay, so binding A unit binding has taken. Okay, so this is B, this is A. Here also, so you can say this is B and this is A. Okay, so then what happens? What are the changes which are taking place? Here, after binding it, the B unit binding through the carboxyl group to the receptor, and the conformational change. The first, what we can say is the binding of, in the first one, binding of binding of B fragment to receptor receptor in the taking place. In the second one is, so at the amino terminal of the B unit, conformational changes are taking place in this toxin at the amino terminal, bringing the A unit to the cytoplasm. So the process is taking place is endocytosis. Okay. So what happens next? What is the next step? Here, so in the endocytosis, the endosome goes inside the cell where it goes to the cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, what happens here? Here it is. So there is receptor is present. The receptor is present. And again, the binding of B and A unit is, we can show it here. The B and also, so there is the A unit here. Still connected by the disulfide linkages. Okay, here what happens in endosome, the pH is low pH, around 5. So because of that pH, so there is a breaking of this disulfide linkage taking place. So what happens? The endosome enters cytoplasm. Okay, so cytoplasm, pH of the endosome is low, that is 5. Because of that one, disulfide link broken. Disulfide link is broken. Let us study the final step. Ultimately, how the inhibition is taking place. Okay, after the release of the A fragment, so this is A fragment. Okay, this is A fragment. Then there is, here it is endosome. In the endosome, the receptor is present. Okay, then also, so there is still here, there is a presence of B unit. Okay, then here it is, recycling is taking place. So we can say this is B unit, this is A unit. Okay, then here it is, the protein synthetic site where the ribosome is there. Okay, ribosome is there. So what happens? This one, it goes there, inhibits the translocation process. Inhibits translocation process. Okay, so this is how the inhibition is carried out, and then endosome goes back and recycling is taking place. That is in the normal, as you know, the process which happens in the endocytosis. Okay, then how this inhibition is taking place? What is the exact mechanism? So here this one is EF2 plus NAD plus. Okay, here, so in the presence of A unit, in the presence of A fragment, so what happens? The A fragment is an enzyme which is carrying out the ADP ribosylation. In this is active. Okay, so this A fragment is here. It is inhibiting it, causing the ADP ribosylation. Where? On diphtheramide. So making it inactive. Okay, EF2. Once EF2 is inactivated, okay, then what happens? The protein synthesis is stopped. Protein synthesis is stopped. The protein synthesis is stopped. That is the how this inhibition is carried out. Now we will study about the third objective. What is the third objective? Okay, so third objective is how the toxin is inactivated. Before that, let us see how lethal this toxin. A few micrograms. Okay, so can inactivate it inactivates. Okay, so all the EAF, it inactivates the few micrograms, it inactivates all the EF2 molecules. Okay, so what happens? It can kill an unimmunized. It can kill an unimmunized person. It can kill an unimmunized person. Okay, then the third objective. What is the third objective is how the toxin is inactivated. How the toxin is inactivated. Okay, so there is antitoxin is present. How this antitoxin so inactivates. Okay, here there is the antitoxin. Antitoxin. We can call it toxoid, formaldehyde treated toxoid. Okay, this toxoid. Okay, so is when it is given to the affected individuals, it is given to an affected okay individual. Okay, then it binds with so toxin and makes it inactive. Okay, the toxide binds with the toxin and makes it inactive. Okay, plus also antibiotics are also given. Antibiotics are given to combat infection. This is about the how the diphtheria toxin is working. Okay, let us now summarize. Okay, so here in this one, today we took up eukaryotic elongation factor, so EF2. Okay, and how diphtheria toxin is inhibiting it. The objectives of this session. At the end of the session, the learner shall be able to explain so biochemical aspects and structural aspects, mechanism of inhibition of EF2, inhibition of EF2 by toxin and its consequences, how toxin is inactivated. So before taking up the objectives, before the advent of immunization, diphtheria was major cause of childhood deaths. Okay, then so here it comes from the Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Okay, and it grows in upper respiratory tract of an infected person. Okay, it is the encoding gene of toxin. It comes from the lysogenic base. It is harbored by Corynebacterium diphtheria. Okay, then so next one is biochemical aspects and structural aspects of toxin. Bacteria secrete a phase encoded protein responsible for the lethal effects. When this protein is the protein contains 535 amino acids. When it is initially secreted, it is a monomeric protein. Okay, when it encounters target cell, hydrolysis is taking place by the trypsin or trypsin-like enzyme, split into B and A unit, still connected by the disulfide linkase. So when you talk about the toxins, diphtheria toxin, cholera toxin, so they have the similarities. Both are enzymes catalyze ADP ribosylation process of key cellular enzymes. Okay, then so diphtheria toxin inhibits the mechanism is it inhibits the eukaryotic elongation factor 2, and whereas cholera toxin acts on G protein. Okay, so where does it act? It acts on particular this one amino acid diphtamide, a modified histidine residue. Okay, next, so this is not there in the prokaryotes. Diphtamide is not there in the prokaryotes, so the toxin cannot affect the prokaryotic system. So the next objective is the mechanism. Here it is through the endocytosis process. This is the cell. in this membrane there is a receptor is there. To that receptor, the B subunit binds, and then binding a B fragment to receptor is taking place. Okay, in the next one, here conformational changes are induced. B subunit binds to the carboxyl group. The conformational changes are taking place at the amino end, and then the A subunit comes nearer to the cytoplasm. Okay, then next one is the endosome comes out. In the endosome, there is a low pH, 5.0 pH, and then it is reaches almost in the cytoplasm, where the disulfide linkage here, so due to low pH in the endosome, so the disulfide linkage is broken, releasing the A subunit. This is A subunit, this is B subunit. Okay, then in the next one, what happens? The A subunit is released here, B subunit is there in the endosome, and then recycling of the endosome is taking place. Okay, then the A subunit goes to the protein synthetic site and inhibits the translocation process, and protein synthesis is inhibited. What is the actual mechanism? EF2 is active, it binds the NAD in the presence of A fragment and leads to ADP ribosylation that makes it inactive. Okay, few micrograms can inactivate all the EF2 molecules, so that can kill an unimmunized person. Okay, then so what happens? How the toxin is inactivated? Antitoxin, toxide, it binds with the toxin of an affected individual. It binds with the toxin and makes it inactive. Okay, also, so by that way, so it nullifies the action of the toxin. The antibiotics are given to combat, okay, infection. Okay, this is about the relationship between the inactivation of eukaryotic elongation factor and diphtheria toxin. Okay. Thank you.